Do you want to know how a team like São Caetano almost played against Real Madrid?
Real Madrid, pode esperar, a sua hora vai chegar. Real Madrid, pode esperar.
And if I told you that they would even have a good chance of winning, so stay here, and I'll tell you this story.
Pesa, hein? Já fez 16 gols, sendo que 10 de bola parada. Uma bomba. Gol! É do São Caetano!
Hey there, how's it going? You're on the Novo Escudo FC channel. In this video, the theme will be something almost unthinkable for today. A possible World Cup final between Real Madrid and a small club from outside São Paulo. The four big clubs from São Paulo have always been São Paulo, Corinthians, Santos, and Palmeiras. But there was an intruder team at the beginning of the century that almost won the Brazilian Championship and the Copa Libertadores, São Caetano. It all began when the club benefited from a confusion in the regulations of the João Havelange Cup in 2000 and qualified as the second from the yellow module. As 3 teams from the second division secured spots in the knockout stage of the Brazilian Championship, São Caetano ventured against the Giants. And the result was surprising. The team beat Fluminense in the round of 16, Palmeiras in the quarterfinals, and Grêmio in the semifinals.
Roubou pelo cima do São Caetano, vem pra frente, ganhou de Marinho, ele tá livre, rolou pra esquerdinha, tocou pra Demar, invadiu, bateu, é gol!
And stole the show. In the end, they finished as national runners-up, being defeated by Vasco in a match marked by controversy after the collapse of the fence in São Januário, and the competition only concluded in 2001 in a game at Maracanã. But despite this, they managed to project themselves onto the international stage, securing a spot in the Libertadores of the following year.
O acidente em São Januário comoveu os torcedores do São Caetano. A cidade paulista estava preparada para comemorar o título.
Tudo levado na esportiva até acontecer o pior. Alambrado abaixo, gente ferida, desespero.
É um grande desrespeito, não só com o torcedor, como um cidadão que vai ao estádio para ver o futebol bonito, o futebol arte.
Quem é que sai perdendo com isso?
Só o torcedor, quem está aqui assistindo o espetáculo, né? Acabou o espetáculo.
1 hora de jogo parado e a decisão acabou. Quem se preocupou com a segurança, concordou. Você se preocupou com as pessoas que estavam lá no estádio?
Ah, me preocupei, né? Vascaíno, mas também é gente. Vascaíno, mas também é gente.
In 2001, the Azzurro lived a year like a big team in Serie A. They played the main competitions and once again ranked among the best teams. In the Libertadores, they were eliminated in the round of 16 by Palmeiras. In the Brazilian Championship, another crushing campaign, finishing first in the first phase. They dispatched Bahia and Atlético Mineiro until securing themselves in the final once again. However, the decision demonstrated the size difference between São Caetano and Atlético Paranaense, who won both, with that great team led by Washington Coração Valente, and became champions. Again, the ABC team would go to the Libertadores as the second best team in Brazil. This time, however, they went as a team that put any big team on alert. With Jair Picerni in command, the experienced coach was in charge from 2000 to 2002. The team played in a 4-4-2 formation and featured Silvio Luiz in goal, in inspired form. Russo was the right back and played alongside defenders Dininho and Daniel, who were well integrated from playing together for a long time. On the left, Rubens Cardoso added an element of intelligence and speed, as well as good passing. When it came to midfield, one could understand the power of that lineup. Marcos Senna, who would later make a name for himself in Europe and become a Spanish national, was the thinking head as the defensive midfielder. He paired with Adãozinho, while Anailson, the short and skillful number 10, played further up, close to Robert, a midfielder who was loaned from Santos. In attack, Ailton and Brandão formed the starting duo, and the tall Somalia was an option as a center forward. In a group with Cobreloa, Cerro Porteño, and Alianza Lima, Picherni's squad finished in first place with 12 points. It was the fourth best campaign of that edition. The suffering began right in the knockout stage debut. 2 1-1 draws with Universidad Católica from Chile led to a penalty shootout. The Brazilian team secured their place in the quarterfinals with a 4-2 win in the shootout, at home. In the next phase, they faced a boogeyman of the Libertadores, Peñarol. After a 1-0 loss in Montevideo, the team came to ABC Paulista and won 2-1, coming from behind. Since there were no away goals criteria at that time, Picherni and company faced another penalty shootout, as only Adãozinho missed his shot. The Brazilians won 3-1 and continued their performance, which was already historic and celebrated. The semi-final reserved a meeting with America, the biggest team in Mexico. But that blue team, competing in only their second Libertadores, was not intimidated. They welcomed the foreigners with a 2-0 victory, with goals from Adãozinho and Somalia, and held a 1-1 draw at Azteca. Yes, São Caetano perhaps didn't even realize how, but they advanced to the Libertadores final. It was the time to crown that project that started in 2000. For this, there were 2 clashes with Olimpia, a traditional Paraguayan club who had eliminated Grêmio. But the Brazilians went to Paraguay, won 1-0 with Ailton, and came very close to an historic upset in the tournament. As the Libertadores rule required at the time, a stadium with a capacity of at least 40,000 spectators for the final, São Caetano could not host the game at Anacleto Campanella. Thus, the match was moved to Pacaembu, which was painted blue, and saw fans from the big São Paulo clubs unite in support of the ABC team. Ailton opened the scoring, but Córdoba and Baez turned the game around and forced a penalty shootout. In the shootout, Marlon and Serginho missed their chances for a small club to make history and feel what the eternal glory of the Libertadores is. The title didn't come. It remained in the imagination of fans. But São Caetano, in 2002, made history in Europe. Real Madrid was the champion of the Champions League, defeating Bayer Leverkusen 2-1 with that stunning goal from Zidane. In the final of the Club World Cup, Real Madrid beat Olimpia 2-0. Real Madrid, which had been considered by FIFA 2 years earlier as the best club of the 20th century, traveled to Japan with the champions core of the Champions League, plus the reinforcements of Ronaldo and Cambiasso, already the biggest Champions League winner with 9 titles, and sought the 3rd world title. The Paraguayans felt the pressure from the squad that started the Galactica era, which won 2-0, goals from Ronaldo and Guti. The game was special for one reason. Both teams were celebrating 100 years exactly in 2002. With the match result, the Spanish club closed a practically perfect centenary, with the conquests of the Supercopa de España, the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup, and now the Club World Cup. Even without the title, São Caetano made history. In 2004, they became Paulista champions with Muricy Ramalho, defeating Paulista de Jundiaí in the final. But gradually, they began to lose strength and fell into decline. Today, they struggle for survival. but will always be remembered as the little team that dreamed big and almost shocked the world.
Olha o Marcinho na arrancada, bateu pro gol, desvio! Gol! Marcinho do São Caetano! Chegando à marca de 21 minutos, ele bateu, a bola tocou no Danilo e tirou completamente o goleiro Márcio do lance. Aí ela bate no pé direito do Danilo, o Márcio caía para fazer a defesa ou tentar fazer a defesa.
And if you liked this content and already know or are getting to know the work of Novo Escudo FC, don't forget to follow us on our pages, like this video, and hit the bell to activate notifications for everything that gets posted here. Thanks!